What happens when one of the biggest pop stars in the world gets accused of something serious? What happens when it's not just one person speaking up, but multiple people, across multiple years, telling eerily similar stories? That's exactly what we're talking about today. This isn't about canceling anyone. This isn't about hating on someone's music or their career. This is about listening, really listening. Because when people come forward with stories like these, the least we can do is pay attention. So let's start from the beginning. A few weeks ago, Katy Perry made a comment about Justin Bieber's Coachella performance. She said she was glad he didn't have any advertisements on his laptop during his set. It was a shady little dig, the kind of celebrity comment that gets clipped and posted everywhere online. Most people moved on, but one person didn't. That person was RubyRose. Now, if you don't know RubyRose, she's an Australian model, actress, and TV personality. Probably best known for her role in Orange is the New Black. When that clip of Katy Perry's comment started circulating, RubyRose saw it, and something inside her snapped. She didn't just respond to the shade about Justin Bieber, she said something that nobody was expecting. She alleged that Katy Perry had sexually assaulted her, years ago, at a nightclub in Melbourne, Australia called Spice Market. And just like that, everything blew up. So what exactly did RubyRose say happened? According to RubyRose, this incident took place approximately 20 years ago. She was at this nightclub in Melbourne, and at some point during the night, she says Katy Perry rubbed her private parts on RubyRose's face, without her consent, while RubyRose was resting. RubyRose described her reaction as being so disturbed, so viscerally shocked, that she projectile vomited. Let that sink in for a moment. She wasn't just uncomfortable. She wasn't just awkward about it. Her body physically rejected what had happened to her. That is not a small thing. That is a traumatic response. Now, Katy Perry's team responded quickly. Her representatives went to TMZ, one of the biggest celebrity news outlets in the world, and they did not hold back. They called RubyRose's allegations categorically false and dangerously reckless lies. They also pointed out that RubyRose has previously made public allegations against other people in the industry. So we have a direct denial. We have competing stories, and we have a lot of people online trying to figure out who to believe. But here's where the story gets more complicated. Shortly after RubyRose went public, another person, posting under the name lost_OGs_homo on the social media platform Threads, came forward with their own story. This person claimed that Katy Perry had touched them inappropriately at a queer party back in 2010. Now, when RubyRose saw this post, she responded, and what she said was striking. She suggested that the incident this person described happened on the same night, the same exact night, that she herself claims she was assaulted. Two people, same night, same location, similar claims. That is not something you can easily brush aside. And as for RubyRose herself, she has since announced that she has filed official police reports regarding these matters. She also said she will no longer be making public comments about the situation because she needs to focus on her healing process. Filing a police report is a serious step. That's not something people do lightly. Now here's where the story becomes about more than just one night at a Melbourne nightclub. Because once RubyRose's allegations went public, people started digging. And what they found was a collection of stories, some old, some resurfaced, some that had been quietly ignored for years, that painted a very specific picture. Let's go through them one by one. Anna Kendrick. A clip from a 2014 interview resurfaced where Anna Kendrick, the actress from Pitch Perfect, recounted something that happened at an industry event. She described Katy Perry touching her cleavage inappropriately, without asking or warning. Anna Kendrick told the story with nervous laughter, the way people often do when they're uncomfortable talking about something but feel they have to make it seem light. But here's the thing about nervous laughter in situations like that. It doesn't mean it was funny. It often means the person didn't know how else to handle it. A male model from the Teenage Dream music video. A man who appeared in one of Katy Perry's most iconic music videos came forward claiming that, at a party, Katy Perry exposed him in front of other people without his consent. He described being publicly humiliated in a situation he never agreed to. A Russian TV presenter named Tina. Tina alleged that at a private party, Katy Perry attempted to kiss her. Again, without consent, without warning, and without any invitation on Tina's part. Shawn Mendes. A resurfaced clip showed a moment on the red carpet where Katy Perry allegedly grabbed Shawn Mendes in a way that made him visibly uncomfortable. At the time, people sort of laughed it off. Looking back at it now, in the context of everything else, it hits differently. Benjamin Glaze. And then there's the 2018 American Idol controversy. probably the most widely documented of all these incidents. Benjamin Glaze was a contestant on the show. He had publicly said, before his audition, that he had never kissed anyone before.
Have you kissed a girl and liked it?
No, I've never been in a relationship.
It was a personal thing for him, something he wanted to save. On camera, in front of everyone, Katy Perry kissed him on the cheek. And then, when he seemed surprised and flustered, she pulled him in and kissed him on the lips. He didn't ask for it. He hadn't consented. And the entire interaction was played for laughs on national television. At the time, there was some criticism, but it was mostly swept under the rug. The show moved on. The moment was forgotten, but when you line it up next to everything else, it stops looking like a one-time mistake. Here's the part of the conversation that people sometimes skip over because it's uncomfortable. We live in a world where consent is still treated differently depending on who's doing the crossing of lines. If a man had kissed a female contestant on a reality show, without consent, on live TV, we know how that would have been received. If a man had been accused of the same things Katy Perry is being accused of right now, the conversation would probably look very different. But power doesn't care about gender. Fame doesn't justify anything, and it's just who she is, or she's always been like that, are not defenses. They're explanations for why nobody stopped it sooner. The people who came forward, RubyRose, Anna Kendrick in her interview, the model, Tina, and others, they all described moments where someone with more power, more fame, and more influence crossed a line. And in each case, the incident was either laughed off, minimized, or forgotten. That is what a pattern looks like. What do we do with all of this? Now, I want to be clear about something. Not everything in this story is at the same level. RubyRose's allegation is extremely serious. It involves a specific, detailed account of sexual assault. It involves a police report being filed. It involves a direct name denial from Katy Perry's team. That is something that will, and should, go through the proper legal process. The other incidents, the Anna Kendrick moment, the American Idol kiss, the red carpet moment with Shawn Mendes, those are different in their severity, but they all share something in common: a disregard for whether the other person wanted what was happening to them. And that's the thread that connects all of it. It's not about being perfect. It's not about every awkward moment becoming a court case. It's about understanding that other people's bodies are not yours to touch, grab, kiss, or use. No matter how famous you are, no matter what the vibe is, no matter how much you might think it's funny or harmless. The people on the receiving end of those moments, they don't always think it's harmless. Katy Perry has been one of the most successful artists of the last 2 decades. Roar, Firework, Teenage Dream, these are songs that millions of people grew up with. That's real. That's not going away. But success doesn't shield anyone from accountability. And fame doesn't mean that the people around you exist for your entertainment. What happens next? Legally, professionally, publicly, we'll have to wait and see.
So excited. I mean, I love Katy to bits, and I was just with her at the hotel before, and she's getting dressed up.
RubyRose has taken legal steps. The truth will have to come out through that process. But what we can do right now, today, is listen to the people who are speaking up. We can take these stories seriously. We can ask ourselves why so many of these incidents were dismissed for so long. And we can hold on to the simple truth that consent matters. Every single time, with every single person, no matter who you are. That's it for today. If this made you think, share it with someone. And I'll see you in the next one.